Hello guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Today we have another session with your teacher Kemal,
Hi.
and we are going to talk about a sort of hypothesis about learning stuff.
Mhm.
Teacher, it says that learners need to understand the meaning of a text before focusing on a specific language. Do you agree?
Okay, so let's just try to make it clear in here. So they need to understand the meaning before focusing on the language work. Okay, on the language focus.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. Let's just try to take an example first.
Yeah.
Or let's imagine that we have a text, any kind of text. Minimum text is a sentence.
Yeah.
Let's imagine that we have an example sentence to work on a tense, or to explain a tense, or to do some language focus, some grammar work, or some any other work, all right? Structure, nevertheless.
Yeah.
And imagine that your learners don't know the vocabulary in that sentence.
Okay.
And they are not familiar with the meaning of the sentence. Do you think they're gonna focus more on the meaning, or are they gonna be totally focused with you and follow up the language work? Do you think they're going to be a little bit stressed out because they don't understand the words? Or do you think they're going to be so relaxed for not understanding the words and still follow you and your language work? I don't think so. From my own experience, I noticed that learners need to have minimum knowledge of the meaning before doing any language focus. Why is this? Well, for one thing, it creates context for this work. You know, even if we try to separate the structure or the grammar part of the language, well, when we talk about English, I mean, the meaning is very important. If we take the tenses, for example, if we talk about past tenses, including the perfect tenses, compared to the regular past simple tense, you will notice that there is a play in the meaning somehow. Well, there is a discussion about the action itself, when the action started, and whether the action is still ongoing or not, and then you can judge on the language focus. They definitely need to understand the meaning, so they can be able to concentrate on the language focus. I'd say there is another example also. The learners get really stressed out when they don't know the vocabulary.
Especially adults.
Adults, maybe. This anxiety is really negative because it causes a mental block.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would see that you're talking to your learners. You're saying, "Do you understand?" And then learners say, "Ha ha, ha ha." And then you ask them a question and it seems that they didn't understand.
And they start to blush, maybe.
Blush or anything or everything, or they are blocked because they don't know the meaning. Because they are still stuck in the meaning. So, okay, minimum meaning before language focus ensures that your students are actually in the right context to understand the language itself and be able to apply the language focus more accurately, taking the context into consideration, which is very important when we learn English grammar.
That's right.
It is actually contextual, if we may say. And there is another approach, if you may know, which is like learning language in context or learning language in use.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Many famous book series or book sets promote for that, like the Cambridge book, language in use, or grammar in use. I don't remember exactly. Was it grammar in use? Grammar in use. Okay. What is this grammar in use? What do you mean by grammar in use? Do you mean grammar in context? Yes. Okay. Create the context. You don't know the meaning of the words.
Okay.
How are you going to learn the grammar in context? So learners should learn the meaning before any language focus, so they can create a context to learn more accurately, more effectively, and more directly, rather than relying on grammar translation.
Yeah.
So if you eliminate the meaning of English text while doing language focus, you are pushing the students to rely on grammar translation.
Yeah, okay. There's another
There is no other way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he doesn't know the meaning, in order to learn the grammar in the same direct language, in the target language, that pushes them into using a middleman. And
So,
usually some
what
other
you
kind.
propose as a solution for this?
Creating a context.
How, for example?
By doing some vocabulary work first,
Mm-hmm.
Working on unknown words, of course, without, of course, avoiding grammar translation. That is out of the question. But
Sure.
vocabulary can be learned in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
We have bilingual dictionaries, we have monolingual dictionaries, we have visual content,
Yeah.
we can use our mimics,
Mm-hmm.
we can use examples.
Yeah.
So, in a way or another,
Pictures, videos as well.
yes, they need to be involved in the meeting. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, imagine I'm going to ask you a question,
Mhm.
teacher Mason.
Mm-hmm.
You are in the middle of language focus.
Mm-hmm.
As a cliche, in many language schools, you're not allowed to use any other language other than English.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right.
That's nice. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. We are supposed to be working on the language
Mm-hmm.
directly.
Yeah.
All right. I have seen that this concept is misunderstood also.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, maybe sometimes it's impossible
Mm-hmm.
for the student to get the word or to understand the word because of some certain mother tongue and target language related problems.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Or some problems related to the word itself that makes it a little bit tough to retain.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there is a harm in using a bilingual dictionary to learn single vocabulary? I don't think there is any harm in that.
Yeah. So,
Yes, so many teachers block students from asking for the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that many people block students
Mm-hmm.
from asking for it, the meaning of a keyword that one of the students doesn't understand, but the others understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So taking this keyword into consideration, this keyword is the most important word in the sentence.
Yeah.
So how do you expect the language learning or the language focus to take place while the learner doesn't know what this word is?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that he's going to know whether the word is a noun or a verb or an adverb or an adjective without knowing the meaning of the word? No, he cannot. Well, okay. Have we heard of universal grammar? Well, okay, there is universal grammar also. So it is not always negative to even tell the meaning in the in the mother language of learners. So how about learning that in the target language? It's even better and better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I think learners deserve to learn the meaning of text before doing any language focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to paraphrase what I have been saying, that would help in better retention,
Mm-hmm.
more concentration.
Mm-hmm.
That would also create a good context, so they can, so the language focus can be more meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, this is going to help reduce the affective filter.
Mm-hmm.
What is this affective filter?
Yeah.
Well, I think if they don't know the meaning and you push them into language focus, they get stressed out. What do you think?
Definitely.
Do they get stressed out if you push them to do the language
adults,
word?
yeah.
Especially adults,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
If he doesn't understand the word and you push him to do something, he cannot. He's mentally blocked, right?
First
Why
and
is that?
second, they will not show up again.
They may not show up
Yeah.
again. Yeah, that's right, because they may feel pressured so much and
Mm-hmm.
embarrassed and
Yeah.
stuff. So is that going to affect their self-esteem?
Absolutely.
Yes. Confidence.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, now let's refer to our guy, Krashen.
Mm-hmm.
He's the owner of the hypothesis of the affective filter hypothesis, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Krashen is one of the very famous linguists. And in his affective filter hypothesis, he claims that increased anxiety and low self-esteem and pressure causes the learners to have a mental block,
Mm-hmm.
which affects the reception of information.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think you're doing something good by teaching very directly
Mm-hmm.
and eliminating any work on the meaning, even if you are teaching grammar,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if
wrong
your
track.
students are nodding, you gotta make sure what that nod means. You
Yeah.
got what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Still, it depends on the style and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I don't see any harm of introduce a meaning before language, if necessary.
Okay, how do you personally introduce the vocabulary? I mean, the meaning definitions of the words.
Well, first, I'm a big fan of learners' independence.
Okay.
And learners' autonomy. Well, guessing the meaning of new words from the context is one of the very important tools towards learners' independence. I promote that personally. Okay? If it's not working, using monolingual dictionaries, what we call English dictionaries, the Merriam-Webster dictionary and the other types of dictionaries, by the student. Of course, if the level is
really a matter of
yes, if it's convenient for the learner to use a monolingual dictionary, all right? Another way is to use visual content if possible, or using relaya, like real objects, or visual content like pictures. The use of mimics and gestures is another way to teach the vocabulary. The last, let me say, the desperate solution is using a bilingual dictionary, which is not disastrous at all, as long as it's not grammar translation.
And controlled by teacher, maybe.
Could be guided by teacher, let's say. All right. So actually, all of them are going to be guided by the teacher, as the teacher is the initiator of the action in there. That is possible. I personally do it this way. I give them some space, and I take the feedbacks, and then if none works, all right, bilingual dictionary. It's not hard at all. And what is to learn in a word? Is it the meaning of the word? It's not only the meaning of the word. That is the easiest part of the thing and the most spontaneous part of the thing. When I introduce vocabulary, I introduce the meaning.
Connotations.
Could be the meaning, mainly, the pronunciation, the stress patterns. I mean, the word stress, because it is crucial, as English is a stress-timed language, unlike many other languages which are syllable-timed. If you want to sound natural, it is better to learn the stress of the word while learning the word from the dictionary, plus the pronunciation. You're going to see that there's a phonetic transcript. Nowadays, with the help of technology, you can click a button and hear the word with the stress included. You're going to see the stress sign also in the syllables. I teach the meaning of the word, its pronunciation, the stress patterns of one word. Last but not least, any possible synonyms, as a matter of talk, any possible antonyms, if we're doing vocabulary work. Mainly, this is what we learn in the word. Definitely. You mentioned something about the word connotation. The way we use the word, the situation we use the word. Well, that depends on the word. I do also refer to that. For example, when I introduce two adjectives that are very close, like skinny and thin. Of course, you gotta highlight that skinny has a negative connotation. Otherwise, it's going to cause misunderstanding and embarrassments. Definitely, you're right. So it's going to be fun to learn the meanings of words. It's going to be fun to learn the topic of the text or the meaning of unknown words before language focus. That makes the work on the language more flexible, more dynamic, makes students more relaxed, more focused on the language work because they are not busy with trying to understand the words still on their own. They are not actually having any mental blocks caused by the affective filter to be activated because of the increased anxiety that is caused by not knowing the meaning of what they are doing and being pushed by the native teacher to do it anyway. This is really frustrating.
Exactly.
And by the way, in real life, meaning comes first, then comes the grammar. The grammar was invented later. Even in the language and human evolution through the history, if we start with the Homo sapien, I don't think that he had a perfect grammar system. But they had sounds
signs, maybe.
Signs or sounds, maybe pure sounds that gained meaning in time and gained grammar as we evolved more and more.
Definitely.
I think that's it.
Yes, exactly.
So, to put it another way, it is very important to focus on meaning before doing any language focus because it creates context for that language focus as English language needs that desperately. and the rest of the stuff that we mentioned before.
Exactly. And it can be a sort of relief for students that they can feel comfortable
Definitely.
understanding of the language, and they can basically cooperate in the class with the teacher.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Look, the downsides of pressuring students are really big. It is really disastrous if they get a mental block, and they will be embarrassed if we talk about adults. They may even claim that they understand while they don't. Just let it go.
Yeah.
I think so. Well, of course, many people also have other ways. We don't claim that this is the only way, but we claim that this is the healthy way.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We're
you.
going to meet again, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right.
Take care.